Janae Nicole coming to you from beautiful sunny South Florida. I hope you're having a great day. Today is actually the last day of 2015. It's approximately 9:06 p.m. So we're just a few hours away from ringing in the new year. I have a good friend coming over to celebrate with me and hubby, so I'm going to make this pretty quick. I have a pretty good show rundown for you, but it's not going to be a long show. Yeah, so let's get into it. So I'm going to share with you today some of my epic fails that turn into really great lessons for me, and I hope you get a lot out of this episode. Let me know what were your big lessons of 2015. So, all right, let's go. My top 10 lessons I learned in my first 6 months of podcasting. So these lessons can, most of them can kind of cross into whatever it is that you're doing. This is what I learned this year in 2015 podcasting. I don't know if you guys can hear, but the fireworks are already started. So if you hear some bangs in the background, it is the fireworks that are going off right outside of my studio window. Okay, so my first lesson, the biggest lesson that I learned last night when I was recording my next to last episode. And if you listen to the last episode, you know what happened, and I will not rehash it, but it really hurt my soul. But the main point is save the file before you say your first word. So I recorded a whole episode and I deleted the whole episode because I did not save first. So from here on out, I will be saving the file as something before I start talking to prevent that epic fail that happened last night and just crushed my world. Okay, so that was lesson one. Lesson two, just start already. I procrastinated on this show forever, and I wish I would have started 6 months earlier than I even did, even a year earlier. The podcast had been in the works for a year before I even started it. So, yes, just start already. The atmosphere is never going to be 100%, the stars align, the moon is shining just so. So, just start. Start with what you have and just go. Because I promise you, as you begin to move, you're going to see that things are going to fall in place and you'll work it out. So don't be procrastinating and, oh, I got to do this, I got to do that. Just start somewhere. Start with what you have and keep it moving. Okay, so that was lesson two. Lesson three, be your own truth. And trust me on this, it will show. In the beginning, I was trying to be PC and politically correct and not say the wrong thing, and I don't want to offend anybody, and I wasn't living or being my own truth. I wasn't doing the show that I would want to listen to. So whatever you're doing in your business, whatever your side hustle is, be authentic to who you are and be your own truth, and it'll show in everything that you do. You're not going to be a replica of something that's already happening. You're going to be an original because there's only one you. Number four, invest in your project and don't be a cheap bastard. I can't say it because I Jose, but you know what I'm going to say. Don't be cheap. I said it in the last episode. Don't be a cheapskate. Invest in your project. If you want others to invest in you, you invest in yourself first. So invest in your project. You're going to get so much further. I wish I would have put a little bit more time, energy, money, effort into the show to make it what I really wanted it to be. But that was a lesson learned. 2016, we will be making some investments and I will be calling on those some investments. But invest in your project. You'll be so much further along than if you try to go the cheap route. Number five lesson, the real work begins after new and noteworthy. my little show, I was really doing really well in new and noteworking. This is in the podcasting space. New and noteworthy is iTunes gives new podcasters a front row seat, so to speak, so that your show gets a little shine when you first start to help you, grow your audience and that sort of thing, so that more eyes can get on your show and it just gives you a little boost. But you have, I think it's 8 weeks on New and Noteworthy to get a little shine. So I was feeling myself for New and Noteworthy. I was like, oh, I'm number one in all my categories. I think I got to number one at least once in all three of the categories, which was business, education, and marketing. I got to number one in all three of my categories in New and Noteworthy. So I was feeling myself. Your girl was on cloud nine, and then my 8 weeks were up, and I plummeted like a brick from the sky. Literally went from having really strong numbers to having almost crickets. So, to my true fans, those of you that have been with me from the beginning and you've hung in here, I know Mama Trish, you listen. So, if nobody else listening, I know I got one faithful listener. Yeah. So, yeah, that was a big lesson that the real work begins after New and Noteworthy. So I should have been, while New and Noteworthy was happening, I should have been doing more to like really hone in my audience and get you guys on board, so to speak, because whew, it's an uphill battle now trying to get back to where I was. But hey, this is not a sprint. This is a marathon. And I know that over time, if I just keep putting in the work and sharing really good stuff with you guys, it'll grow. So we'll see what happens in the next few years. Well, in the next few months. How about that? So that was number 5. That was a podcasting specific lesson. But the next one is it's not about you. I learned that lesson a little bit before podcast movement, but at podcast movement, it really came home for me, so to speak. That this show, it's not about the vanity numbers, it's not about the metrics, it's not about my ego, but the help that whatever I say is not just for me. I'm helping, believe it or not, when I say the things that I say to you guys, it's not just for you, it's for me as well. But there's somebody that's going to hear this show that it's going to change their life. So I have to be mindful of that. Like, that's the bigger picture. I do this for you. So I have to be mindful at all times that whatever I'm sharing is to be the betterment of you and to help you change your life for the better. And in the process, I'm getting to change my life as well. So it's a win-win. So that was lesson number 6. It's not about you. Think about the bigger picture. Number 7 is be proud of your little show and tell everybody. In the beginning, I would say, oh, I just have a little podcast or I have a little radio show. And I was really shy about it because I was very vulnerable. I still am. I'm very vulnerable about people's perception of the show and what I talk about and just everything. That's human nature. That you care about what other people say even though you try to act like you don't. I do care about what people say, but be proud even in your vulnerability. Be proud of the work that you're creating. And don't be ashamed to tell people about it, because why are you doing the work if you don't want to tell anybody about it? You're doing all this work and you don't want to say anything. You want to be meek and bashful about it. So that was a big lesson for me to learn, is to be proud of the work that you're doing and holler it from the rooftops. And okay, so number 8, be a noticer. I got this from Jared Easley from Starve the Doubts podcast. I believe he said this in one of his talks at I want to say Social Media World South Florida, Social Media Day South Florida. I probably just slaughtered that, but I know I heard it from Jared Easley. So you research Jared Easley, Star of the Doubts podcast, and him and Kamanzi Constable. Quick shout out. They actually have a book launching in a few days here in January 2016 called Stop Chasing Influencers. So go out and get their book, support them. They are two amazing guys. I mean, give 100% value, and you will not. I can't wait till my book gets until I get my book, and I'm getting my book signed. So shout out to Jared, and hopefully I could get Kamanzi on there as well. But yeah, they're going to be here in South Florida in January for their book launch. So I'm excited about it, and I hope that you guys will support them because those two guys, I promise you, you will learn something and move yourself forward if you take advantage of what they have to share in their book. I haven't even read it, but I have that much faith in what they share for free on their podcast. And when you interact with them, that I know that whatever they put in that book, that they gave 100% effort and that it's going to be fire. So be a noticer is what Jared he kind I don't remember, like I said, where he said it, but when you notice others and you are, you're about helping others, and it's not to get something in return. You're not doing this a sleazy way, which if you're doing something positive and you're doing something that's going to help others, I'm going to big you up. If you are doing something that I think somebody else can use or somebody else needs to get, I'm going to share it with others. So I was doing that anyway. And in doing that, people were noticing me and helped me do some things. So be a noticer and don't do it just because I told you to do it, but just be mindful that it's not, again, about you, but take notice of what other people are doing in your space and shout them out, big them up, share their stuff, like their pictures on Instagram, whatever it is, but notice and show love where you can. So that, I think that was a really good lesson learned, to be a noticer. Even though that was something that I was doing anyway, it kind of validated, like, oh wow, it's a good thing to do, and it's a good thing to share that others should be doing it. I hope that made sense. If it didn't, oh well. I got something from it. Okay, so number 9, we're almost done. The number 9 of 10 lessons that I learned in my first 6 months of podcasting was implement fast. And not just implementation, implement fast. So if you have an idea for something and you think it will, help, just do it. Don't, research it to death. Just jump on it and do it. And that was one thing that I feel like I failed at in 2015 because, I started my email list, but I never really focused on it. So I feel like that was one thing I could have done a lot better. I feel like I could have done a lot better with communicating with my peeps and really getting you guys signed up to my email list a lot better in 2015. And because I was so busy researching, how to do this, and I wanted it to be perfect and have an email sequence that comes out, and you automatically get a hello from me. Like, I had this whole elaborate plan for my whole email campaign to come out, instead of just saying, sign up for my list and just reaching out to you. But either way, that was just one example of one thing that I wanted to do that I was making big grand plans for, when it could have just been as simple enough as me just implementing one thing at a time and just doing it. So my lesson to you. So the grand finale, the number 10 lesson from 6 months in podcasting, and it's a no-brainer. Don't give up. Stay the course, stay focused, and don't quit. Whatever you do, don't quit. I was missing for a couple weeks here, and like I said yesterday, you guys were not, or the day before, the days are all becoming a blur. Don't give up. Don't quit, don't give in. Stay the course, and you will be successful. And that's it. That one speaks for itself. Don't give up, and I will see you on the other side of 2016. I know that these words are going to live forever as long as there is internet access or a website, so or a web whatever. So you may be hearing this in 2020, but I just want to be an encouragement to you, and I hope you got something from my 10 lessons learned from my first 6 months of podcasting. It feels like it's been way longer than 6 months in podcasting, but I'm super proud of the effort, and holla at your girl. You are loved, and I'll holla at you later. JanaeNicole.com. Show notes, links, and whatnot. All right. Bye, guys. Happy New Year.